Today I had those nice Latern with me. I really like to use it, and over the day I fixed here a string, and now I had here this small tool. It is called S-spinner, and you can fix everything with it. I love them, and I put it now at the string. Up, wrong side. So. And now I had a really comfortable light here. Much better than the flashlight, but I cannot go outside without the flashlight. So it is dark now and I had to make the finish of my firework and I need light. The S-spinner and the Latern is down here in the video description if you also like those tools so like I do. It is now very dark and very silent in the forest, and I also want to be silent, but once I had to be loud. I had to make sticks for the beginning of the fire, so I had pieces like this. When you do batoning, it is important that you had no branches here between, because when you had a piece with branches the wood is very hard inside. So, and I saw always like this, that the piece of wood had no branches. This is easy to batoning, and the smaller the part is, the better it will burn. So of course you can make then also feather sticks, make with the knife small stripes, so it will burn better. I had today only spruce as firewood, because this is the only dead wood that I had here around. You can't use living wood because it is wet, there is water inside, and it will not burn well. It will burn when you had a lot of amber, then sometimes it will burn, but you will have a lot of smoke, and this is not what we want. So spruce is a good firewood because there is a lot of resin inside. It burns fast, it burns well, but you had sparkles because of the resin. So pine and spruce had a lot of resin and you had a lot of sparkles with it. And it will burn not so long. So the best thing is when you had spruce or pine for beginning of the fire, and later on harder wood. So spruce is very soft and it burns fast, but beech or oak will burn really, really long. But it is not so easy to bring it to burn. So you had to have a good fire that it will burn, and then the beech or the oak will burn for a long, long time, and you don't have to care so much about the fire. So, but I use what I get, and today it is only spruce. It will also work. For batoning I use my knife and another branch. When it's possible I use hardwood, so this here is fresh because they cut it down, and then only push at the back of the knife. When you add a bigger piece like this, don't begin in the middle of it, begin here, because it is much easier to work here as in the middle. That's it. I am sure the most of you know it. These are feather sticks. It will burn much faster when you had feather sticks. You had to bring your knife here at the stick and then just cut small stripes down. You can make them so small or so big like you want, and this will burn really well. This is the campfire place that I used the last time. I covered with moss so nobody can see it, and today I will use it again. I found these fireballs in the construction market. The producer said that it burns 15 minutes, and today I will try it out. Maybe it is nice to have an alternative like this in the winter months. When it is cold outside and I go out for a trip, I always carry an isolated bottle with me with hot tea or hot soup. So I had always something hot to warm the body up without a fire. And I searched for a long time for a bigger one. At first I wanted to have one from what's the brand? Stanley. But they are so expensive, and now I found at the last shopping trip this year from Clean Canteen. It cost €35 and I make test. I put it with hot tea into the fridge for -degrees, and after 4 hours the tea was always so hot that it was it was exact the point where you can drink it without burning, and I really love it. Just great. You can hear that the wood is already wet. It smokes and it makes these noises. So I thought it is dry because the tree was dead and the bark was away at a few points, but there is still water inside. So it will work, and when I had here a part with amber, it will burn well. When you came to the point where you had much amber at the ground, you can bring everything to burn. Okay, not everything, but the most wood will burn then. Last week I talked with a friend that I never try reindeer meat. So what got This is what I got as a gift. Reindeer meat. I tried for the first time. This here is some rice. It is ready cooked from home. And I think it will taste delicious. There is always one time, the first time. Today the first time trying reindeer meat. It tastes really good, but I think that I don't will eat it often. I don't know from where my friend had this meat, but normally no reindeer live here in Bavaria, so I think the meat come from far away, and this is not my lifestyle that I eat something that come around from the world. Of course, sometimes there are no alternatives like when you want to have a tropical fruit. It doesn't grow here in Germany, so and when you want to eat it from time to time, it is okay. But when you had the alternative, we often had the meat of the cow from the other side of the earth, and here are also cows, so it is more expensive when you buy meat here from Bavarian animals. But we had here deer and rabbit in the forest, and we had sheep and cows. Everything that you need, you don't had to ship meat around of the globe. This is not the right thing in our part of save the planet. So now I make dish the easy way. I put my pan that it is full with fat only over the fire. The fire will burn the fat away, and then it is clean and no bacteria is inside. This is make the dish for people that doesn't want to do too much. In the forest that is okay. The fire makes me really angry tonight because it doesn't burn well. I had smoke the whole time. It is wetter than I thought, so I can't change this. In the night it is always important for me that I had an escape plan. What should I do when situation X came? That I know more than one way out of the camp and out of the forest. Where's the next street? Where is the closest way to the car? Do I have mobile reception that I can call help? So this is always important for me to know. Nobody know what's happened, what could happen. Nobody want that something has happened, but you never know. I go now in my sleeping bag, but before I will run a little bit at the same point because it is cold, and make never the mistake that you go with a cold body into your sleeping bag because you don't get warm inside. So after this I go into the sleeping bag and hope the night is silent and I sleep well. We see us tomorrow. Good night. Good morning. I woke up very late today. I sleep so well with the fresh and cold air. It is like sleep medicine. So I stand up later than I want. My deadline in the forest is always about 8 o'clock, because when people came into the forest, they came around 8, and then I will be ready. So the first thing that I make now is pack my sleeping bag and the sleeping pad, that only the top stand. So if someone is coming, I only had to remove the top and then I'm ready. And when this is done, I make a little fire again to warm up and make breakfast. Look at this. They felled this tree here, and the bark of this tree is a perfect fire starter. I had here a small nest out of the bark, and here some small beech spruce branches, and I will start it now with the fire starter. For the breakfast I only need a small fire. I make a baked apple for breakfast. I put it on this branch and then I roast it over the fire till it is hot and soften. I covered the campfire again with moss so that nobody can see that I make here on fire. For me it is always important that I leave no tracks. Of course the wall will stand here like the last time, but nobody should see that I make on fire here. So you know never who came as next, and maybe there came someone who see, oh, there is a fireplace, I can make here on fire too, and he make it too big and don't watch over the fire and something happen like a forest fire. And it is better that nobody can see such fireplace, because you never know how this person react. So, and now I pack my stuff. I had a little bit of firewood that I put again under the young trees. Hopefully that it will be dry for the next time. Maybe I can build the next time some kind of little natural shelter for the firewood that it stay dry for the next time. Making firewood needs always a lot of time, and it is nice when you came here and had enough firewood for the night and the next day. So yeah, I'm very happy that it did not rain. It is always nice when it rains and you had a second top with you, that you had the one top with your sleeping place and another top maybe to sit here dry at the fire, so you can move while it is raining. When you had only one point where you can sleep and sit, this is a little bit too short, not enough space. And of course in the summer times I always look where is the sun and where is the weather side. It is often that rain comes from one side and it falls like this or this. From which side came the rain? It is not always but often the same side. And I also check from where the sun came in the morning. In the summertime it is very hot in the morning and I don't want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because the sun is so bright there. So I always check where is shadow. Do I have shadow in the morning or in the evening? This is another point that I always check. In the winter it is not important, but in the summertime I will sleep a little bit longer in the morning and had it a little bit cooler then. This place here is great to sleep because it is an open ground. You don't find places in the forest like this often where nothing grows, only the moss. I would never cut a young tree away only because it is in my way and I want to sleep there. So no forest owner will like to see this when you cut trees away, and when you want to sleep there and the tree is in the way, it is not possible that you sleep there. Maybe you can fix the tree with a string and make it, when the tree grows like this, you can fix here in a string and make it a little bit away that you had more space, but never cut a tree that is alive only because you want to sleep there for one night. When I search for a camp place, I always check the floor around if they are lowers or soways. When I had not so much information about bushcraft and survival, I make always the distance that I choose the wrong place for sleep. So for example, I build a shelter in a creek without water like this. So, and the cold air is always collected at the place that is the deepest in your area around. And I am here in a deeper level as the rest of the forest, but here is also a place this here in the background where it goes deeper, and here it is the coldest point. I always check that I am not at the deepest place and that I am a little bit protected from the wind. I'm sure every one of you had know about the wind chill effect. That means that you feel the temperature outside colder than it is when it is windy, because wind cool down the body very fast. So I always look that I am a little bit protected from the wind. Leave no trace. Also, when you had to go to the toilet, I often see the trace from people that go to the toilet in the forest, and this is not nice. And nobody like to see this. So when you had to go to the toilet, there are small shovels, and you can bring them with you, and you can dig a hole with the shovel, then you can make inside and then cover it again with earth, leaves, moss, sand, stones, branches, that it is covered. And when you camp close to water, it can be that when it rains, the bacteria from your toilet came into the water. And when you wash yourself or use the water or clean your dish, you had the bacteria at you and the equipment, and this is not nice. So go away from the next lake, from the next creek, that the bacteria cannot reach the water. This is good for you and good for the nature around you. I say goodbye now. I hope you can enjoy the trip like I do, and maybe you learned something new. An airplane again. This is really bad at this place. I had always the airplanes, but I can't change this. The nature is beautiful, so the airplanes are not a big problem. So thank you for watching, and we see us again at the next video. Have a great time. Bye bye.